Welcome to the Knakal News Network. Knakal News Network is brought to you by Massey Knakal Realty Services, New York's #1 building sales firm.
Hi, I'm John Hageman, Sales Team Manager for Massey Knakal. Welcome to the Knakal News Network. Today I'm here with Bob Knakal, Chairman of Massey Knakal. We're going to talk about the current state of the investment sales market. Now, Bob, you've been more optimistic of late, probably more optimistic than I've seen you in recent memory. Tell us what you think is driving that optimism.
Hags, I have been very, very optimistic, more optimistic than I've been in a while, and I really think it's because I am viewing 2014 very, very similarly to what we saw in one other year. And I'll give you and our viewers some hints to try to figure out what that year was. Back in that year, a gallon of gas was selling for 89 cents. Postage stamps were 24 cents. A movie ticket was $3.50. A dozen eggs was 65 cents. And interest rates were 10.5%. Some other fun facts about this particular year was that crack made its appearance for the first time in U.S. cities. Prozac was introduced to the market. The Dodgers won the World Series and that dramatic home run by Kirk Gibson. Microsoft 2.1 was released for the first time and caused the first major computer virus. And George H.W. Bush was elected over Michael Dukakis in the presidential election. So by now you probably know that that year was 1988.
What about 2014 reminds you so much about 1988?
Well, a lot of it had to do with the way the market has been set up. If you look at 2012, we had a very, very significant impact from the threat of capital gains taxes going up. Volume fell off a little bit in 2013, and this was very reminiscent to me of what happened in 1986. The Tax Reform Act of 1986 created a tremendous amount of activity, and in 1987, activity fell off just like it did in 2013. But what we saw in 1988 was that volume picked up and exceeded what we had in 1986, because these externalities, when they impact the market, they tend to scoop activity from future periods and bring it forward. And I think we're going to see the same type of dynamics play out, where the 2014 volume will be significantly in excess of where we were in 2012.
Bob, when you mentioned turnover, is it dollar volume or the number of buildings sold?
Well, Hags, that's a great question, because I was referring to both of them actually. But if you look at what's happened from a dollar volume perspective in the city, we've been on a wild roller coaster ride from 07. In 07, 62 billion in sales approximately, dropping to about 6.2 billion. In 09, we've slowly but steadily been coming back. In 2012, there was about 41 billion in sales activity. That dropped to 37.8 billion in 13. And we expect this year that the volume of sales from a dollar volume perspective could get back to about $60 billion. With respect to the number of properties sold, we had a similar roller coaster, but not quite as dramatic. We went from over 5,000 sales in 07 down to 1,436 in 09. That was about a 76% drop, as opposed to the 90% drop we saw over the same period with respect to dollar volume. Slowly but steadily, we've been coming back. In 2012, we had 4,066 properties sell in the city. That dropped to 3,746 last year. And we're expecting that in 2014, we're going to see about 5,000 properties sell again. So these numbers are very, very reminiscent of 2007.
So Bob, it looks like 2014 is going to be another great year.
Yeah, we think it's going to be fantastic. And you know what we've seen so far through the first quarter of this year, now we're early in the second quarter, we believe that these projections are going to be spot on. In summary, present market conditions are very similar to those seen in 1988. We expect the dollar volume of sales and the number of properties sold to exceed where they were in 2012. On a citywide dollar volume basis, we are projecting $60 billion in total sales activity in 2014, which would relate to about 5,000 total properties sold.
Thank you for joining us today. Tune in next week for another installment on the Knakal News Network.